Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Crafty with K video. I am super duper excited because today we are going to be unboxing a DTF printer. And not just any DTF printer, Procolored's new K13 Lite DTF printer in pink, along with its smokeless oven. Not only are we going to be unboxing, we are going to find out how easy it is to set this machine up, get our first test print, and press on a shirt. I have been wanting a DTF printer for my small business for the longest time ever, and I'm so happy I was able to just take that risk when the pink one came out. If you guys have done any type of research on a DTF printer, you guys know that these machines are not cheap. That is why it has taken me a while to actually just take that leap and buy one. Let's get those nervous jitters out and get to unboxing. I am so nervous. First thing I see in our box is our accessories box. This would be our DTF film. She is the perfect shade of pink. Yeah, I need help. I'll be right back. Now that our printer is unboxed, let's check out the accessories. We have our power and data cable, our parts that need to be installed onto our machine, USB with our software, tools, and other accessories that will be important later. In a second box, we have our DTF powder along with our ink. Everything came packaged really well. Now that we moved our DTF printer from our main table to its designated area, it is time to set her up. Procolored did provide this little card here where we will find our setup instructions. First step is to open up our lid. If you see here, if we end up putting this little thing down, it'll actually keep our DTF printer open. Now we're going to reach in here carefully and rip off this little tag here. Now using the little screwdriver that they included in our box, we are going to end up peeling this yellow tab out. We're going to remove this and this screw here. Now that we took off all our warning labels and that little plate, we can go ahead and plug her in. And she is alive. Now that our power button and screen are on, our startup is complete. Look how cute this screensaver is. It even has a Procolored airplane in the background and a little kitty cat sleeping on a table. Now that that's done, let's install our accessories. That is so cute. It has its color, which is Fluffy Panda. And this is gonna sit right on top of here. Next thing we are going to add is our film roll. So we'll have to get to the back of our machine. We'll have to unscrew these 4 screws to add our film brackets. You do wanna make sure that the sides with the rollers are facing inward. We'll then secure the brackets by screwing back the screws we took off for more support. Now we can add our film plugs. Grabbing one, I'm going to loosen the screw on there just enough to be able to take our rod and slide it in. Now that the rod is in, we can retighten the screw. Now before securing the other side, we're going to load in our film roll. Once that is added, we can add our second plug to the other side. The sides will end up sitting on top of the brackets. You do want to make sure that the arrow on the film roll is pointing towards the machine. Moving back to the front, we are going to loosen these 2 screws here, but without taking them off completely. This is going to allow us to add our tray cutter. Once we set our tray cutter in place, we'll tighten the screws to secure it. Now I'm going to remove the sticker on the film so we can attempt to feed it through our machine. We'll feed that through by pressing the arrow facing down on the front of our machine. Yay! So by the looks of it, we have successfully fed through our film roll. Now it's time to download the software. Please note, you will need a device that supports Windows. Our printer unfortunately does not support Apple. I got this HP laptop specifically for my printer. To download the software, I went to Procolored's website, click support, then resource and downloads. It'll then give you a list of all their printers. I found mine, which is the K13 Lite Pink. Hit software download, and then it gave me 2 files. I went ahead and clicked on both files to download. From there, it'll download onto your computer and it'll start giving you prompts to follow. Once that was downloaded, I was able to open the software. Now that the software is on our computer, I plugged in our red USB and plugged in the data cable. This will run from the computer to the back of the printer. You need these to be plugged in at all times to successfully use the software and print. Now we can run a no ink print test, basically a fake print test, to make sure everything was installed correctly. I found a CMYK file to use off Google and added it to our artboard. Our print head should start to move once I hit print, and that will give us confirmation that our printer was set up correctly. Since our power button is blinking, it means it's in the middle of a cleaning or print. In this case, a print. Once it stops blinking, that is letting us know it is finished. Before we move on, I do want to address some confusion. Of course, after ordering my printer, I watched many YouTube videos beforehand just to be prepared. But in a lot of those videos, there were many people using a blue dongle rather than the red one we received. Even the format of the software looked completely different. The K13 Lite only comes with a red dongle which runs the K13 Lite Studio software. It's a very basic, beginner-friendly software. The blue dongle is a separate purchase and is a more advanced software called Procolored. Because I had seen it in other videos, I thought I was missing it, but I can confirm that that is a separate purchase. I do understand that the red dongle is for more beginners, but I do wish that they included the blue dongle with every purchase. Now, if you do want to upgrade that later, keep in mind that the blue dongle is a whopping $139. Now that we have that out of the way, let's learn our printer button functions. On top, we have our power button. This is to turn our printer on and off. The little trash can here is to cancel any current print tasks that you might have going. This is the paper task indicator. This button doesn't really do anything, but it will flash along with the ink button when a malfunction occurs. This is our ink button. You can press and hold this button to activate a cleaning. As seen earlier, these buttons here control our film. The arrow facing up is to withdraw the film, and the arrow down is to feed the film forward so it's in position to start printing. Lastly, this is our circulation button. This button activates white ink circulation and stirring since white ink tends to clog more. Moving over to our cutie screen over here, this is going to give us our machine's temperature, making sure it is not too cold and doesn't overheat. Now that we know what all our buttons are for, we can add our ink. I am going to make sure that my printer is off using the red button in the back of the machine. Our printer came with 5 main colors along with nozzle protection fluid. We won't need this today, but it'll come in handy if you ever plan on leaving your printer idle for a while. Using gloves and the funnels, we are going to start adding our ink. Please make sure to double check the label on the bottle and shake it vigorously to make sure it is mixed well. We are going to repeat these same steps for each color. After we're done filling our ink, we'll close this little door here and turn our power on. After our printer is finished starting up, we'll press and hold the one-click ink guide button for more than 10 seconds. Ooh, and you can see our ink is being drawn from our bottles, through the tubes, and into the ink cartridges. Now that the ink has made it through, it's going to perform another cleaning. If we take a look in here, you'll see it started dumping ink into our waste tank. This happens every time we perform a cleaning. A neat feature about this printer is that it has a hassle-free maintenance. As long as your printer stays on, which I recommend, it'll automatically initiate a cleaning cycle every 10 hours and will circulate the ink every 30 minutes. This is going to help prevent buildup and reduces the risk of the white ink clogging and extends the life of our print head. I ran one more cleaning, printed a test strip, and everything printed very well. So now we can try our first test print. And of course I had to use my own logo. Down here I can mess with the width and height. I'm gonna leave it at 5 inches for this example just to see how long it'll take to print. I'm gonna go ahead and start printing and start a stopwatch. A 5-inch print took about 3 minutes and 44 seconds, and honestly, I think that's pretty quick. Oh my goodness, look how freaking cute! The quality looks so good. We are almost close to the finish line. I'm going to set our print down and start unboxing our oven. She is a lot heavier than our DTF printer, so please be very careful. This oven is so cute. I love that the panda is right in the center. Here is a way to open it up, but we also have a pull-out drawer here. This is where we'll place our transfers to bake. What is so cool about this oven is that it's smokeless. Now, I don't think it's 100% smokeless, so I definitely place it somewhere well ventilated or by a door. Our oven also came with a separate box that had our power cord, a roll of Teflon, heat gloves, and this super cute cooling block. Up top, we have our temperature screen, and we're gonna leave it at 130 degrees Celsius. Down below is our time setting. We have our arrows here to adjust the time, but this button is also our start button. If we lift this up here and check out the side, we are able to see our gigantic filter. This helps filters all the fumes when we are baking our transfers. Now, I did get this container for DTF powder, and I really like this one because it has a lid. You definitely want to store your powder in an airtight container and in a cool, dry, and dark environment. Before I open our powder, I did throw on some gloves and put on a face mask. Here is our DTF powder bag. If you look at the front, you'll see it has bake and time recommendations. Grabbing our test print, I'm gonna put it in our box and sprinkle a tiny bit of powder right over the image. Now grabbing the edges, we are going to move it around to make sure the powder is coating every bit of our print like this. Once we shake the excess off, you'll be able to see a light layer of our powder on top. We do want to make sure to reseal our bag, leaving no air. Moving back to our oven, we are going to place our transfer in. We do want to make sure to place it powder side up. Once we hear that timer beep, we are able to take our transfer out. If you see closely, the back of our transfer kind of looks like an orange peel, which means it is baked correctly. We can now start preheating our heat press and grab our test shirt. Adding our design to our shirt, I'm going to secure our transfer by taping it down with some heat tape. So now let's put her to the test and give her a press. That rhymed, wow. And now for the moment we've been waiting for. She looks so cute. I did forget to shake off some powder on the edges here, but for the most part, she looks so good. I was honestly so nervous to start, but once we got going, it was way easier than I expected. There's definitely still a lot to learn, but the setup was super simple and definitely beginner friendly. Knowing Procolored has an almost 24/7 chat with real technicians also made me feel so much better. Now that the machine is officially up and running, I can't wait to start creating. If you're thinking about building a small business too, follow along because this is just the beginning. More updates coming soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys next time. Bye!